staining the areas that are visible, and then just in case if you're a heavy painter and you run out of stain, I'll leave the parts that you're not gonna see for the end, just in case. So I would say like the back, the bottom of the stand or behind here, so make sure that you have enough stain for your project. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stain light coats, brush the stain as far as it goes, and I'll work small section at a time so that the stain doesn't dry on me. Because this is water-based stain that we're using. If you don't wipe it off on time, it can start looking a little streaky for you, and you don't want that. Okay, so now I'm using the cloth and just wiping everything that comes off, and it leaves a beautiful stain finish. Another little tip, what you don't want to do is when you, let's say, start staining another area, try not to like overlap too much on the other stain area, or if you do, just wipe it back right away so it doesn't make that area much darker and you don't end up having like sort of like with the stain drips. See how I'm like spreading the stain as far as it goes? It doesn't need to be thick. It doesn't get darker if you leave more, if you have more stain on. Otherwise, you're just wiping it back and you might run out of stain. Okay, and I'll continue that for the rest of my project, and I'll be moving my stand around as I'm working. So let's say if I wanted to do this part of here, I'll just move it around so it's easier for me to see. So again, I'll make sure I wipe it back here. Don't have any drips on the side. Now I'm going to show you how to do the stenciling using vinyl stencils. So what you're going to do first is flip the design with the back facing up, and it's just so it's easier to move the white paper from the back. Peel it up sideways. If you notice any black pieces of the stencil lifting up, just make sure you push it back down and just don't lose any pieces. Once that's down, then I just like to align it with the bottom and center it on the board. And once you're happy where it is, just press it down from the middle to get any air bubbles out from the stencil. Press it down firmly with your hands. You can even use like a credit card to scrape it down. Make sure the stencil is pushed down nicely onto the board. And now I'm going to start removing the white paper that was keeping design together. Again, if any of the black pieces come off as you are peeling it, just push it back down and don't lose any black pieces. All right. I'm actually going to use a piece, put it on the edge here, use another piece, make sure I don't get paint on my board, otherwise I'll have a white line on the sides. Pressing down firmly with my hands. I'll use foam brush, and I'll just do a light coat of the transparent decoupage gel. I'll go over it right and left, and then I'll go up and down. It doesn't need to be thick coat, just light coat, so you can spread it out as far as it goes. Even though it's white in a container, it's actually clear. And I'll let this dry now. My project is dry now. So what I'll do is I'll open up my paint container, and I'll just offload some paint on the side there. And then all I can do is either I can dab, or I can just use it as a brush and just paint in nice light coats of the paint. Try to get nice even finish. And once you do your first coat, I just do a very light coat. Once you do your first coat, let that dry, and then you'll be doing second coat. If you are using a hairdryer to speed up the process, make sure your heat setting is on cold only. Heat will basically ruin your stencil. Yeah, so make sure it's cold air, or just let it air dry for like a couple minutes, maybe depending on how thick coats you put on. Like I said, I'm doing very light coats. Okay, so I'll make sure my paint is dry before I remove the stencil, so I don't smudge the paint. Okay, and now I'll start removing the black. I'll just grab a corner and slowly peel it off. Don't worry, none of the paint that doesn't need to come off will not come off. I lost part of the video, so what I did here is I peeled off the stencil, and then I used something sharp like X-Acto knife or a sharp kitchen knife, and just picked out all the pieces that didn't come off as I removed the stencil. Okay, so now I'm ready for a top coat. I'm using exterior varnish, and all I'm gonna do, work section at a time, and I'll just make sure I don't have drips on the side. So if I'm varnishing here at the top, I'll just make sure I don't have big drips coming down the side. So basically I'll show you what not to do. So if you just go like this, you probably see a lot of drip marks there. So you want to make sure you pick all those up so you get a nice even finish. Even though the product is clear, if you leave drips, they will look sort of like white drips. And if that happens, no big deal. Come back. If it's visible, just wait till it dries or wipe it off right away. And then cover that area up again with the top coat. All right, so now I'm gonna top coat the rest of the stem. Here it is. My plant stand is finished and sealed, and it's ready. I'm ready to hang the flower up.